Alright, so we're finally getting started with the wakeboard winch. But it's been about probably almost a year since I've ordered all of this stuff. 2 motors, tires for drift trike, sprockets, chains, gears, everything. So right now, I'm really trying to find all my parts that I ordered. And I'm trying to find, I bought a mounting plate for the motor so I can just weld right into it. But I'm having a hard time finding it. But basically, basic design. 2x2 steel, down, up, cross angles. Obviously, it's going to be pretty much the same way with wheels, motor, and a spool. And everything else will obviously fall into place with the chain, spindle, and everything else. But as of right now, I need to start finding everything so then I can start getting measurements. And then when I'll start welding, we'll start cutting, we'll start getting into details. So once I find everything, that's what really gets started. Measurements, we're going to do 16 inches high in the front, so I'm doing 14 and a half. And then we're gonna do 3 foot long. So we'll do 3 foot, 3 foot, and then the 14 and a half to create the 16. And then we'll whatever measure up, whatever support, and then we'll do some side supports. And then we'll figure out how we're gonna mount this now. Considering I bought a mounting plate and I don't know where it is, but that's my own fault. So I'm gonna start measuring that up and get those cut and get them all shined up, and then we'll start welding them together. Alrighty, now that I got these all sanded and cleaned up, they look a little better compared to that nasty orange rust bulls they got going on. So now I'm gonna lay them all out. We'll probably tack some welds up. Actually, I need to see how wide we need to do it because I need to make middle supports before we can weld anything. So I'm gonna lay it all out, see how it looks, see what width we kind of need, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I have it all laid out. This is 6.5 inches from middle to middle. So then we'll have enough to drill in, hopefully. I'm going to remeasure this just to make sure it's even before I start welding. These don't really fucking matter. And I don't know if this is probably a good idea, but I left kind of a bigger gap for the spool. Even though actually no, the spool will be, yeah. So the spool will be about right here. So I gave it a little bit of room because I don't want to clog anything up there. I don't know if that's even going to affect anything. This thing's going to be way stronger than it's ever going to need to be, so I'm not worried about it. So now I have the welder all set up. We're going to be arc welding, so the weld's probably going to be a little sloppy, but I don't really care. It's just a wakeboard winch, and this steel's going to weld up no matter what. So I'm going to start welding, and then we're going to get to it. Posts, which I hope are long enough. They look decently long enough. And if not, we can just cut another one. So I'm going to get these tacked up, measured up for the motor. And then we got to start building the spindle, which I don't have, so I'll have to go to Home Depot and get some parts for it. So let's get to it. Alright, so we pretty much got the whole frame done. I got the supports welded, I got that welded, I got the tail welded. That's pretty much just to carry it around and to put it in the ground. It's pretty much the only use of that part. But I was just rethinking because, like I was saying before at the beginning of this video, I misplaced the mounting plate. So now I think I need to redesign this. I might cut this out and put a steel plate down and just blow torch some more longer holes so I can adjust it, move it back and forth and whatnot. So that's probably what I'm gonna have to do right now, but I'm brainstorming because I don't think just mounting that in there is gonna do anything good for me. So next, after that, I do kind of want to do this, so I think I'm gonna cut that out and go over there and cut a steel plate out. And then get these, mount those on, and create the spindle. So I'm probably gonna have to cut some more circles out as well. So we'll probably have to break out the blowtorch and blow those out. So I just finished up with the mounting plate. It's 14 by 12. So now I'm just have to match up the motor and drill in some slots to make it for the tensioner. Other than that, still got to do the spindle, but just wanted to do an update so I didn't get too far ahead. I did end up leaving that middle bar because might as well, it's another support, so I just welded the bottom sides of that too. So now we're just gonna try to match up some holes or come up with some holes, make a sliding deal, and then spindle. All right, so kind of have this mounted. I just really wanted to get the idea for it because I forgot the most important part, which was a sprocket for this, and I happened to find my mounting plate while I was looking for everything. So this is going to be great. Even though I just did all this work, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to cut this out. Not the whole thing. Just cut out wherever the engine gets mounted and just weld that right into place. And then we'll never have to deal about that. So, but still got to try to figure out a design for a spindle. Thinking about just cutting some steel circle, and the old thread like my original plan. But there's kind of a better idea. Use an old, like a mini bike tire, because it already has a sprocket built in. But we're going to figure that out. So I don't know how much more I'm going to do today because I don't have a sprocket. I might cut that out. I might not. So we'll see. Alright, so we finally got the new sprocket. And it fits. It fits great. I hope that should be good. I just have the motor sitting there. And then we're going to cut out something for the spool. I think I'm just going to go with some plywood for now. I mean, this is 3/4 inch. Nice quality stuff. So I mean, if it blows up and it breaks or whatever, I'll just go to steel. I just really don't feel like blowtorching the steel, so we're gonna try wood. I don't see the problem. So I actually have this go-kart tire or drift cart tire that will be in a future project, and it's 10 inches, so I kind of like that for the size of the spool. We're gonna do 2, and then go from there. So we have the mounting plate welded up. We had to cut this and cut that back. I'm probably going to cut this eventually and shorten it all up, make it look nice. But we got the chain to size. All we got to do now is put some motor oil in it, some fuel, and see how it works. We got to tighten up the keyholes too, and then that's pretty much it. And everything's pretty much about done, and the wheels, but little small touches, but the big step is finally done, and that's all that matters. So we're going to start wrapping up all the final touches. Alright, so I just finally cut down the back and re-welded it. And I think it looks much better like that too. I'm actually kind of happy it ended up being like that. I put the oil in the motor, so now I just need to put some fuel in it. And we're giving it its first startup. So it's running for sure. I definitely think I might need to put a brake on it. I don't know why the clutch is still engaged, even though it's at idle. But I'm not really too worried about that, because we'll just turn it on and off. But pretty good. So I'm gonna have to go put on that rope. We're gonna put on this rope. We have a handle, and my buddy's coming over this board, so we're gonna try to figure this out. It's working great. I'm actually pretty happy with it. The spool and the rope gets a little weird, but we're kind of figuring all that out. We might figure out something and make it so it doesn't get all crazy, but it hasn't wrapped up or gotten any ties or anything. It just gets ugly. But full throttle, it's the perfect speed to yank you around, so I'm very happy about it. All we gotta do is work on some anchors for it, because we already almost lost it in the lake, but it's okay.